Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I spent 5 grueling years of my life crafting what I believed would be a truly revolutionary indie game. Every line of code, every design document, every art asset was a piece of my soul, poured into a passion project. I was a solo developer, brilliant with code, but abysmal at marketing and securing funding. That's where Percival Thorne came in. Percy was a charming, silver-tongued marketing guru I met through a mutual friend. He had connections, a knack for pitching, and promised to handle the business side, leaving me free to create. We drafted a meticulous partnership agreement, ironclad in its specifics. I retained full intellectual property ownership of all game assets and source code. Percival handled only the business development, and explicit non-disclosure and non-compete clauses were signed, sealed, and witnessed. I made sure to include language about him not being allowed to copy or retain any of my proprietary work without express written consent. He agreed readily, probably thinking I was naive. Things went smoothly for about 6 months. We were generating buzz and a few small investors were showing interest. Then Percy went quiet. Days turned into a week, then 2. When I finally confronted him, he dissolved the partnership, claiming creative differences. My gut immediately clenched. I pushed, and he dropped the bombshell. He had retained copies of all assets and code as his severance package and was willing to sell them back to me for a cool $50,000. If I refused, he'd either sell it to a rival studio or, worse, release it online as his own open-source project, effectively destroying any commercial viability I had left. The audacity left me breathless. This wasn't just betrayal. It was intellectual property theft and outright extortion. My dream, my financial future, my creative identity, all held hostage by this greedy snake. The initial shock quickly morphed into a cold, burning rage. I knew my contract was solid. I immediately sought counsel from an intellectual property attorney, Eleanor Vance, a formidable woman with a reputation for ruthlessness. I laid out every detail. The signed agreement, my meticulously dated code commits on private repositories, the encrypted backups, his blackmail emails. Eleanor's eyes gleamed. "You have an exceptionally strong case," she said, a hint of satisfaction in her voice. "Trade secret misappropriation, breach of contract, attempted extortion. We can ruin him." Our plan was methodical and utterly devastating. First, we sent a cease and desist letter not just to Percy, but preemptively to every single venture capitalist and game publisher he had ever pitched to, informing them of the impending lawsuit and warning them against knowingly acquiring stolen IP. This immediately shut down his attempts to monetize my work through legitimate channels. Percy, in his arrogance, scoffed. He started posting snippets of my code and design documents on obscure development forums, trying to drum up interest and prove his ownership. He even released a broken, early build of the game under his name on a lesser-known platform, declaring it his revolutionary concept. Each defiant act was another nail in his coffin, providing us with undeniable evidence for the lawsuit. We filed. The lawsuit detailed his egregious breach of contract, the theft of trade secrets, and his blatant attempts at extortion. Percy tried to fight back, claiming I had gifted him the work or that his marketing efforts somehow entitled him to equal ownership of the IP. But the paper trail, my documented development history, and his own incriminating emails were irrefutable. During discovery, his digital footprint revealed extensive copies of my work, his communications with potential buyers, and his clear, malicious intent. It was all laid bare. The judge wasted no time granting a preliminary injunction, effectively barring him from using, sharing, or profiting from my intellectual property in any way. The trial was swift. The evidence was overwhelming. Percy was found guilty of trade secret misappropriation and breach of contract. The civil judgment against him was staggering, not only for the full estimated value of my game, but punitive damages, all my legal fees, and a percentage of his future earnings, should he ever manage to acquire any. He had no choice but to liquidate everything: his savings, his house, even his car, to begin making payments against the judgment. His reputation in the indie game development community was utterly annihilated. No reputable company would ever touch him again, and no one would ever trust him. I, on the other hand, regained full control of my game, launched it successfully, and watched my dream flourish. He thought he could steal my life's work and profit from it. Instead, I took his. He's a pariah, financially ruined, and will spend the rest of his days paying for his colossal mistake. It's an incredibly satisfying feeling to know he got exactly what he deserved. The scales of justice, though sometimes slow, did swing my way. Watching his life unravel, knowing I was the architect of his demise, solidified that some wrongs truly demand permanent retribution. It's a chilling reminder that you reap what you sow, especially when you try to steal from a code maven.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.